Hey folks, welcome. This is 108 Stitches, which is mostly a knitting video podcast, but sometimes I will talk about other things that are going on, other crafty things that I'm up to. My name is Emily. Thank you so much. If you are returning and you've watched my podcast before, and if you're new, welcome. I'm really excited to have you here. It has been a little bit since I last recorded, and I'm really excited to share with you all what I've been up to. We had the Stripey turtle tank pattern release since the last time I recorded. It really does feel like it's been forever, but I have some knitting progress, some knitting updates to share, and then I have a lot of acquisitions to share. So if you like to see lots of beautiful yarn, then you should definitely stay tuned. There's a lot of that ahead. So yeah, today is, let's see, it's Monday. It's Monday late afternoon, kind of around 5 o'clock. Just finished working for the day. Here's Norm. It is August 16th. I cannot believe how fast this summer has been going by. Oh, he wants to be covered. This is the weirdest dog. He loves to sleep completely covered. He needs to be all the way on one side so I can cover you. There you go. He likes to sleep completely covered by the blanket. But yes, so what was I saying? It's mid-August. I cannot believe how fast the summer has been going by. But I'm looking forward to fall, and yeah, excited to chat with you all about what I've been up to. So let's see. My name is Emily. I live here in Seattle, Washington with my husband Nelphis and our pup Norman, who is sleeping under this blanket here. I work as a kind of baseball analyst type position for the Seattle Mariners, which I really love. And that is why the podcast is called 108 Stitches, because I love baseball. So I may talk a little bit about baseball happenings and my baseball project as well at the end. But otherwise, I will just go ahead and jump into what I've been working on. So I do have a finished object to share with you all, and if you follow on my Instagram, you likely have seen this. I finished my Stripey turtle tank. So any of you who are new, if you're not new, I am sure you have heard plenty about the Stripey turtle tank, but the pattern is now available on Ravelry. I will include a link below if you are interested in purchasing the pattern. And all the proceeds that I make from this pattern go to Pitch In for Baseball and Softball, which is an incredible organization that provides equipment to kids who otherwise wouldn't be able to play ball. So really fun. I'm really glad that I've been able to do that. And yeah, so this is my own design, the first thing I ever designed, and this is actually using yarn from a collaboration that Melanie of Big Little Yarn Co. and I did. This is one of the 3 kits that she had available about a week ago in her shop update, and this was the Forest Walk kit. So hopefully if you were interested in this kit, you were able to purchase it, and then we can be twins. But I finished my tank, I think pretty shortly after I last recorded, and I have already worn it a couple of times, and I really love it. I think the colors are just gorgeous, and I'm really happy with it. So yeah, again, this is the Stripey turtle tank. This, for those of you who are curious, this is the 3rd size, and I have a 33-inch bust, and this is, the 3rd size results in a 32-inch bust. So this gives me 1 inch of negative ease, and I knit it on the size 3 needles. Calls for fingering weight yarn. And yeah, there it is. That's the finished object. And I think, yeah, I have already at least in stories, I've put like photos and videos on Instagram of this finish, of like me wearing it in the finished garment. I'm not sure if I posted to the grid or not, maybe. But if you're interested, I'm sure I'll have photos up there at some point of me wearing it. So that is my finished object for this time. And then, I guess let's go ahead into the turmoil. So those of you who have watched the last few episodes of the podcast may remember this sweater that I was working on. I was calling it my Madewell Dupe, and it's like a brioche pullover, and I kind of modified the neckline to make it match. So I'm using the birthday pattern by ANKESTRiCK, and I modified the neckline to make it have kind of like a higher neck to align with a pattern that I saw, or not a pattern, a sweater, like a ready-to-wear sweater that I saw available from Madewell that I really liked. And the modification went great. Everything was going well. Kind of partway through knitting the body, and I think I even mentioned this in my last episode, I started getting concerned that the sweater was going to be too big. And, you know, that was kind of confusing to me because I swatched and everything. Like, I can even show you my swatch. I swatched. I even blocked my swatch. I measured it, everything. But something went horribly wrong. And I don't know how or when or where or why, what happened, but I was expecting a sweater with a roughly 39-inch bust measurement. So I have a 33-inch bust. I was wanting about 6 inches of positive ease. And after maybe, I guess it was a couple days ago, I finished knitting the body of this sweater. So like I was starting to get concerned partway through, and I kept going thinking that maybe like if I blocked it, or I mean blocking isn't going to make it smaller. I don't know. I just thought maybe it was something weird about being on the needle. If I like blocked it or something else, it would be okay. So I finished the body. I tried it on. I was like, oh, this is too big. This is definitely too big. It was doing this like weird kind of like, there were these weird folds kind of in the armpit. And then also like the armholes, like it's a raglan. And the raglan's like, it went down really low. Like the armholes were very deep. So I thought, okay, I'm going to go ahead and block it because maybe the drape is just weird. Like maybe if I block it, it'll be better. Well, it's maybe marginally better after blocking it, but it's still massive. Like it's so big. I mean, it's just, it's too big for me. So it's a lot bigger than I was expecting. So I told you I was expecting or hoping a 39-inch bust measurement for the sweater. And this is a 46-inch bust, like circumference. So I can put it on if you guys want to see. Oh, by the way, the sweater I'm wearing right now is my Poivre cardigan by Jacqueline C. Slack that I haven't been wearing a ton, but I actually put it on today and I was like, man, why don't I wear this more? Like, I really like it. The yarn is Grenouille in her 85-15 sock base, 85% merino, 15% nylon, and in the colorway Noct Music, which is one of my favorite colors ever. So anyway, I will put the body of the sweater on so you all can see, and then maybe you can give me like your opinion on what you think I should do, although I'm pretty decided, but we'll talk about it. So anyway, this is the sweater. I will put it on. We can take a look together and see what we think. So here it is. Wow, it's just, yeah, it's too big for me. You can see that. I'm actually really happy with the neckline modification. If you look here, like this is exactly the neckline I was wanting. And then the body is just too big for me. So I think I'm gonna rip it out. And it's hard. I mean, look, this is exactly what I was talking about. Like these folds and like the way that the arms are, it's just too big for me. And so like I could finish it and then gift it to someone. But I really wanted this like finished project, and like I really love the yarn, like I've talked about in the past. I think I mentioned the pattern. This is Birthday by ANKESTRiCK, and the yarn is Rerum Natura Ulysse, which is a 100% wool. It's like a sport weight, and it's in the colorway Poivre Blanc. And I really like the yarn, and I really don't like this sweater and the way that it fits on me, so I think I'm going to pull it out and I'm going to try again. So I'm very confused about how this happened. I don't know if like I just swatched and then I didn't pay attention to my swatch at all, or like my guess, the most likely thing is I think I swatched and then my gauge was off in one direction or the other. And then I tried to compensate by making a larger size than I otherwise would have, or something like that, when it was actually the other way that I needed to compensate. Do you know what I'm saying? Like your gauge is off. You can sometimes like knit a bigger or smaller size to like make everything kind of work out. And I'm wondering if like my gauge was off and I thought, oh, it's okay, I'll just knit one size bigger. But really my gauge was off and I needed to knit one size smaller. Or like maybe the gauge with this and the gauge with my swatch are different. Like I didn't write it down, so like maybe I used a different needle here. I haven't measured the difference between these. It looks pretty similar actually. So I don't know, that could have happened, or I don't know. Or I just like didn't pay enough attention. I don't know. But this is the M1 size. There are two sizes smaller. There's like either like an extra small and a small, or like a small 1 and a small 2. And I think I'm gonna do it again. I'm gonna knit the smallest size. So at the very least, like it will definitely go faster because I'm gonna be knitting a smaller size. I used a size 4 needle on this, which I don't remember what the pattern calls for. But I do really like the fabric, so I think I'll use the same needle, but I'll just go down a couple sizes. I don't know. Y'all, I'm really bummed. I'm very disappointed that this happened. I also have been working on the sweater for like 2 months. It's been taking me so long because I've been working on other stuff. I've knit like 3 stripy turtle tanks in that time. And I really wanted this before fall. Like, maybe I'll knit it really fast. I don't know. Or maybe I'll take a break. Like, maybe I won't pull this out and like start on it again soon. Like, maybe I'll give myself a break and knit another sweater before. I don't know. It's just so frustrating to me. I don't know. I know I should move on, and y'all are probably like irritated with me for this, but like I get it if this happens when you don't swatch. But I've been doing a better job. Like I've actually been swatching. Like I actually swatched for this and it still happened. Ugh! And it just, I don't know, this is a lot of work to rip out. But like, you know, if it were a superwash yarn, I've heard of people successfully like shrinking their projects by just like putting them in the dryer. Like I can't do that with this. It'll definitely felt. It will definitely felt. It's not super, like there's no way this is superwash. Is it? This is in French, so I don't know. But it says, I think this is the hand wash symbol. The symbol, and also I'm pretty sure that word is the word for hand in French. So yeah, I think it would felt. Anyway, those are my woes. I'm going to pull this out and I'm going to knit it again, and I'm going to knit it smaller this time. Boo. But at least like I got to the point where I know now, and I'll do better next time. So that is my Madewell Dupe sweater that is making me sad. Has this happened to y'all before? I don't know. I mean, I know it's a common thing for like the sweater or the project not to turn out exactly the way you wanted it to. I don't know. I'm bummed, but we're going to move forward because there's some other stuff I've been working on that I'm excited about and I'm excited to tell you about. So that is my Madewell sweater. Next up, I will just show you a very short peek of the pair of socks that I've been working on. I have not put a ton of work in them, but I have done a little bit and I actually started kind of like a pattern. So I think I talked about these before. This is Grenouille Lampblack, which is my favorite gray, and I purchased a lot more of it that you all will see shortly, but it's Grenouille Lampblack, and I'm knitting just like I'm doing like a broken rib, a broken 1x1 rib. I'm not sure if you can see that at all, but I did like just a normal ribbing. Is this gonna focus? There. I did like a normal ribbing and then I switched to like a broken rib after like 10 rows. I don't know. It'll probably be good. But I don't think I'm going to do like a full length sock. I think I'm going to do focus. My camera's working hard today. There we go. Maybe, kind of. I'll just keep talking. I'm going to do not a full length sock. I'm going to do a little bit shorter, I think. And we'll see. I think it'll be kind of like a fun in-between length that'll be nice. But yeah, I haven't done a ton of work on that, but these are, yeah, this is Grenouille Lampblack. I think I cast on 56 or 58 stitches, I'm not sure. And this is actually a new needle for me. I always use the small circulars when I do socks. I really love them. But I was having issues, like a lot of sock patterns, like standard sock patterns will say to cast on like 62 stitches or something. And those always like ended up too big for me. Like my feet are, I guess, really small. Or the like fabric seemed like it was not as dense as I would want it to be for socks. So I ordered a new set of needles and I just went down a size. So I've been using US 1.5s before, and this is a US 1. And I really like the fabric, and I think this is the right size needle for me. Although I got Addies this time instead of the Chow Goos I'd been using before, and I miss the sharp tips. I think like if I get another set of circular sock needles, I will do the Chow Goos again because they're just like sharper tips, and I definitely miss that. These are like a little duller. I like Addies. Like I have in my interchangeable set are Addies, and I really like them. But I think for socks, like for something that small, and I just keep kind of like splitting the yarn or like not getting it on the first go. I just really like something that's like a little bit sharper. So I think I will probably go back to the Chow Goos. But yeah, so that's my sock pattern or my sock project. And then, let's see. So I started a new project actually last night that I'm really excited to share with y'all. So I've been talking about this for a while, that I wanted to knit the Luminaria, I think is how you say it, shawl by Lindsey Fowler and it was a shawl that she actually designed for, she did like a collaboration with Bethany of Woolberry Fiber Company for their Advent last year. And like after the Advent season ended, she released the pattern publicly, and I really loved it and wanted to start, and I wanted to knit it for using my Grenouille Advent that I got last year. So it actually only uses 10 contrast colors, but I picked out a color palette I'm really excited about. So I started the shawl last night. And here's just the very beginning of it. I can show you if you want to see just the baby start of my shawl. Who knows if it will focus, but I can try to put a picture of the finished shawl on the screen as well so you guys can see. There we go. Wow, that took forever. And you can't even see it super well, but there's the beginning of the shawl. There we go. Okay, so I've done only a very small bit of it. There's a main color and then 10 contrast colors. So for my main color, I'm using this yarn, which is from Viola. I'm sorry. Right. So this is that really pretty Odie color. Has some really nice flex in it. It is from Viola and the Moon. And it's actually left over from my soiree sweater. I don't know, I guess it probably won't focus because I'm having a lot of trouble with focus today for some reason. It's worse than normal. There we go. Yeah, so it's got some, like you can see some of those pink, like orange specks in there. But really light, mostly like that Odie color. And yeah, this is left over from my soiree sweater. And I really love it as a main color in this project. And then yes, I picked 10 minis from my Grenouille Advent. The focus today, sheesh. Okay, yes, I picked 10 minis from my Grenouille Advent. So this one is attached to the project. This is Umber. So they're all kind of, actually I guess I can just show you kind of all of them together at first, or maybe not all of them, but kind of a look at them. But they're all, I picked all kind of like greeny blues and oranges. So starting with Umber, which is the one that I'm working with right now that's attached. Really beautiful, like golden color. This one is Lichen, I think, which is a pretty greenish brown with some like dark grayish parts as well. It's not going to focus. I'm not going to try to get it to focus because we'd be here all day. Oh, that goes with my socks. This is With Nail, which is, oh, so beautiful. Maybe my favorite green. It's just so pretty. I've used this before in a colorwork top. And it's actually the first color that's in here in the shawl. And if any of you are Zelda fans, Noffice calls this color the Korok Forest. So it's really pretty. And then this is Knocked Music, which is the same color as my cardigan I was wearing today. So it's a really pretty, like dark tealy blue. This one, oh boy, I think this one's called Nocturne. It's like a pretty blue. And then other blues, I have this one I think is called Reflecting Pool. And this one is the Three Sisters. This one I love. I kind of want to get more of this color in like another base to make another project out of. So I've got these three blues that are really pretty. And then this one I think is Tortoise Shell, which is really pretty, brown, orangey, kind of gray color. This one, ooh, I don't remember the name. I think it's called Steel Pike, maybe? Really bright green. Yeah, I like this one as well. I'm actually surprised that I like it, and I really like it with the palette, like with the others. And then the last one, no chance I remember the name of this one. I just don't remember it. Sorry. Sorry, friends, but this one is blue and orange, really pretty together. So anyway, those are my 10 minis. And I am actually doing something that Mel did for one of her sweaters a while back. I think it may have been for her twig sweater. She used a random number generator to determine like which color to go next. And I really loved that idea. So I started doing it. So I can try to put the picture up here if I remember. But I basically just like took a picture of all 10 mini skeins and I numbered them. And then now anytime I'm ready to switch colors, I just use a random number generator and it tells me what color's next. So I don't know, I may like put rules for myself, like don't do the same color twice. I'm not sure if I'm gonna allow that or not. But so far it's been good. The other thing about this is like when I saw the pattern, it looked like they were kind of like uniform stripes, but the pattern actually says just like switch colors whenever you feel like it. And I don't know if you know this about me, but I'm definitely a person who likes structure. Like I like to be told like when to change colors. Like I like for there to be a process and it not just to be like whenever. Hence the like random number generator. Like I can't even do randomness myself. I can't even determine the order of the colors on my own. Like I need a process for that. So I'm gonna do it uniformly. There's like kind of natural breaks in the pattern, and I'm gonna do like 2 sections for each color and just keep doing it that way. And so then it'll be uniform stripes, and I think I'll be happier that way. And I do think because of that, I won't repeat the same color twice. I think I'll do, if I like generate the number and it's the same as the previous contrast color, I think I'll just hit it again and yeah, do it that way. But I have barely started this. I started this last night and I'm already really happy with it. Just like knitting it has been fun so far. I mean, I've knit like 10 rows or something. But I love the way that the main color is going with the 2 contrast colors I've used so far. I think the colors are going to be gorgeous together. I think I'm really going to like the finished shawl. This is also like, I believe this is actually mosaic knitting, which is a type of color work I've never done before. And I really like it. Like I like doing a new technique because like you kind of have both colors happening at the same time, but each row you're only using one of them and it's just using like slip stitches to pull up the color from the previous section. So I really like that. I think it looks really cool. And yeah, I don't know. I'm hoping to like spend some more time working on this tonight. So the pattern is still requiring quite a bit of attention right now. I mean, I'm of course right at the beginning, so I'm not sure if it's going to become the kind of thing that I can kind of do on autopilot. I don't think so. I think I will have to continue paying attention, and like there's a chart that I think I'll have to keep looking at least some. But hopefully it won't be so like engaging that I can't at least be kind of like watching TV or like doing something else kind of in the background. So anyway, I'm really excited about that. And then the last thing I'm working on is my baseball cowl. So I haven't shown this to you, I think, in a while, or maybe I did, but I made a lot of progress on it. I'm actually completely caught up right now. The Mariners have an off day today, so I'll at least be caught up for 2 days. But here's the progress so far. So a reminder that this is the Sockhead cowl, and which is a pretty popular free pattern by Kelly McClure. I'll put the information below, but so I just did this like ribbing at the beginning in gray, and then after that I'm knitting a stripe for every Mariners game, and I do a dark blue stripe if they win and a light blue stripe if they lose. So kind of looks like a barcode. But yeah, this is to this point in the season, so you know, a couple rough patches at the beginning here, but it's been better recently. They went on a couple nice stretches in here, and yeah, 4-game win streak in here. We went to one of the games with some friends last Friday, which was very fun. It was also fireworks night, which is fun. But yeah, I guess I don't have a ton to talk about baseball wise. Yeah, the Mariners have just had a series win against the Blue Jays, which is really fun. That was one of the games we went to. It was a walk-off win as well. It was a walk-off walk, which was fun. And let's see. Otherwise, yeah, I guess not a lot to chat about. Those of you who have been following also know that I follow the Cardinals as well pretty closely. One notable thing that happened with them recently is that Adam Wainwright, who's a more of a veteran pitcher for the Cardinals. I feel like I've been watching him forever. He's a favorite of mine. He actually just threw a complete game. It only gave up 2 hits, no runs, and did it in less than 100 pitches. Actually did it in 88 pitches, which is very few. And anytime a pitcher like completes the game with fewer than 100 pitches, we call that a Maddox, because Greg Maddox, who was a pitcher a while ago, is not pitching anymore. That was something that he just did a lot of. He was really efficient with his pitches, and he could make it through the whole game in fewer than 100 pitches, which is very impressive and happens a lot less often now. But yeah, Adam Wainwright was able to get through the whole game with only 88 pitches, so that was really exciting. Yeah, otherwise, we've been watching baseball. I actually stopped watching baseball not stopped completely, but was watching less baseball because of the Olympics. For a while, I was watching the Olympics a lot, so I know there was kind of a lot going on with kind of like the safety and everything being delayed and all of that, but I do really enjoy watching the Olympics. So especially when my parents were here, we watched quite a bit, and then I just love to have it on. I'm very much a have it on in the background type person. I think maybe that's part of the reason I really like baseball as well. I love to do something else, whether it's knitting or even my work. I love to have background noise, and so having the Olympics on was really fun. Got really invested in some sports that I knew very little about beforehand, which is a fun thing for me. Yeah, I guess that's all I have on baseball front. Okay, I guess why don't I do acquisitions next, because I have quite a few, and I'll try to go through these fairly quickly because I have a lot. But I have sizable acquisitions due to 2 things that led to me acquiring quite a bit of yarn. So the first is it was my birthday, and because of that, back in July, I ordered myself a couple of sweater quantities of yarn from Grenouille, my very favorite dyer. I love her colors. And I actually contacted her and asked if she would be able to dye a color that she hadn't been dyeing regularly recently, but it was an Advent color and also just something I'd seen kind of her dye it in the past on her Instagram or whatever that I really loved. And so she was so nice about it and was willing to dye up this color that I had been thinking about for a while. So I'm going to try to pull, got a lot of yarn down here. But this is the color. It's called Wormwood, and I got it in her DK base, which is actually, y'all, it's a really, really nice yarn. I have knit a hat with this base. It's an 8515 merino nylon, and it's really soft. It feels really good. It's really squishy. I love this base, but I got 4 skeins of Wormwood in her DK base. I don't know if this will focus or not. There we go. And I just love it. It's this beautiful kind of pale minty green with these flecks of blue and black and brown. And I am planning to knit the Woodwardia. It's a raglan. It's actually in the Pom Pom Ready Set raglan book. And it has this really nice fern detailing on the raglan increases that I really like. And I think it would go with this yarn really well. And it's kind of like a turtleneck as well. So I'm really looking forward to that. That may be my next cast on, depending on whether I go back and fix that brioche pullover next or want to wait on it. I might do this one next. Okay, next up I got a couple of skeins of Lampblack. One of these I already had. I already had a skein of Lampblack DK, and then I got another one because I want to make matching hats for myself in the office. I made the green Oslo hat for my brother for his birthday using Grenouille's DK base. And that colorway was the Black Forest. I don't know if you remember. That was, I think I shared it a couple episodes ago. But I'm going to make, I think, 2 more for myself and for an office. And then I also got a skein of her sock base in Lampblack because originally the socks that I'm making for myself, I was planning to make for Novice, but I didn't cast on enough stitches and they are going to be too small for him. So I got another skein so that I can make a pair for him. And then we'll kind of have matching socks too, which I think will be very fun. And then I got another sweater quantity. I also asked Steph if she would be able to dye up a sweater quantity for me of Lampblack again. Y'all, I love this gray. I love it so much. But I asked if she could dye a sweater quantity of Lampblack on her DK Tweed base, which is just so pretty. And I think I lost one skein. I actually have 5 of this one. It's really pretty, really nice tweed base. And for this one, I am planning to knit the Daily Ritual. I think it's Daily Ritual Raglan by Park Williams, I think is her name. Park and Knit on Instagram. And it is a really fun, just like a turtleneck raglan. And I think this will just be like a really, really good kind of basic piece for me in a gray tweed. I think it'll be lovely. So I'm really looking forward to that as well. And that is what I got from Grenouille. And then that was my only acquisition for a while. So if I had recorded this before yesterday, that would have been it. But some of you may have seen on my Instagram stories yesterday, Sunday, I went to 7 yarn stores yesterday as part of the Puget Sound Local Yarn Store Tour, which is an annual event. It didn't happen last year, but I went actually back in 2019. I went to some of the stores that were participating. I think back then 24 stores were participating, and I may have gone to I only went to 8 or something that year. But this year there are 20 stores participating, and I have decided that I want to try to go to all of them. So the event spans 10 days. It started last Friday and is running through next weekend. And it's hard for me to go. Most of the stores close around 5 o'clock. So it's hard for me to go during the week because I'm working. So I'm trying to pack it all in on the weekends. And I was busy last Saturday. So yesterday, Sunday, was the first day that I could go. So I went to 7 yarn stores. I started up in Bellingham, which is about an hour and a half north of Seattle. So I drove up and started in Bellingham and then just started working my way down. And I went to as many stores as I could on my way down back to my house. So there were a lot of stores that I really liked. But I purchased some yarn from a couple of them. So one store that I really liked was one of the ones I went to in Bellingham called Northwest Yarns, and they carried Spincycle. And I've never bought Spincycle or worked with it before, and I just saw these colors and I really fell in love. So I bought them. I got the dyed in the wool, which is a heavy fingering sport type weight, and I got these 2 colors. And I could not love them more. I really hope it focuses so that you guys can see these. Yeah, maybe. There they are. So the top one is Summer Love, and then the bottom one is this one's called Leith, I think. Boy, am I predictable. Look at this. This is the same color. I love this dark blue teal. But also this one is interesting. The folks at the store were actually telling me that this is a really unique skein of Summer Love, that it's quite a bit lighter and has more of this cream color than the other skeins. And I actually noticed that when I was looking at them, that this one is a little bit different, but I really love it. So I'm planning to use these 2 together. I think they go really well together. This one really picks up the darker blue pieces in this one. And I really love them. And I'm really excited to use them because I've never used Spincycle before. So my plan is to do a hat with these. I don't know if I could get 2 hats since it's 2 skeins. I guess they're 200 yards each, so maybe. But I have 2 hats in mind, and I'm not sure which one I'm going to do. I guess if I have enough yarn, I could do them both. But I've been watching I'll Knit If I Want To, which is a weekly Q&A session with Andrea Mowry. And I just love her. She's so nice and so fun. And I just have really enjoyed watching her, and I've like learned a ton from watching that as well. But she talked about a couple of hats. One is the Harlow hat, which is just like a pretty basic 2-color brioche hat. And there was another one, and I forget the name of it now. But it's a mosaic knitting hat with 2 colors. And I really love them both, and I kind of want to use this yarn for both of them. So I'm not sure if I have enough. I should probably pick one to start with and then see if I have enough for the other one. But I have a small head, so maybe if I make a small enough size, I can make it happen. Yeah, I really like these, so that's what I got. At Northwest Yarns, I also got a mug from Northwest Yarns because their logo was really cute. Let me take this stuff out. It's this really cute octopus with knitting needles. Sorry, it's kind of there's glare on it. I don't know if y'all can see that very well. You probably won't focus because the focus is my nemesis today. But there it is. Northwest Yarns. Very cute mug. It's like a heavy kind of enamel type mug as well, and it's pretty big. So I really liked that, and I bought it. And then next up, so I went to quite a few other stores as well. I went to 6 other stores. One that absolutely blew me away, that I loved their selection. There were so many yarns that I wanted to buy in there, was Wild Yarns. Was it Wild Yarns or WildFibers? Let me see, actually it may be on this tag here. No. Oh, I don't remember which one it is. WildFibers is my instinct, so we'll go with that. But I bought a ton from them. I bought 2 sweater quantities of yarn. They had a ton of yarn that I really liked. I also bought some notions from them as well. So they had the Cocoa Knits notions. I don't know if y'all have seen this before, but I actually showed some of these when I showed my little shawl that I started working on. I had these tiny stitch markers. So I almost always knit with small needles, like with just the stuff that I knit, I feel like is always US size 7 or smaller. Like I just knit with that a lot. And I hate having stitch markers that are so big and kind of like unwieldy. So I really wanted to get these really small, just like circle stitch markers that are not in the way and don't bother me. And my friend Sylvan had also kind of shown me, I think she has some of those as well, and had suggested that I look into the Cocoa Knits one. And I found them at this yarn store, so I bought some. I don't know if you guys can see my little circles. Of course it will not focus, but there they are. You can just see colorful blobs. Oh, what a mess. But maybe there, maybe. There they go, my little circle stitch markers in all these little colors, and there's a ton of them in here. There are 60 of them, so you know, it'll probably take me a while to lose all of those. Focus. Okay, so I got that, and then I also got a new tape measure. My old tape measure I really liked. It was one that had like a kind of crocheted cat on the outside, but it broke. It wasn't retracting anymore, so I got this really nice one from Cocoa Knits and from WildFibers, which is cute, and it came in this little bag as well that says Cocoa Knits on it. And then the yarn that I got there. So I got 3 skeins of this Alpaca Heather. It's a Manos del Uruguay yarn. And it's really soft, but also, I don't know, I just really like it. It's like a woolly feeling yarn, but it's also soft. It's a sport weight, 70% wool, 30% alpaca, and I just really want to make a cardigan out of it. I want to make, actually, recently Andrea Mowry had a testing call for a brioche cardigan with like some stripes, and I really want to make that using this. I don't know if I got enough. I may need 1 more skein, but I think this is something I could order online, and hopefully the colors would be close enough that it would be okay. But yeah, I really like this. and I'm looking forward to that whenever that pattern comes out. And then I also got a sweater quantity of this beautiful red yarn. So I don't know if y'all remember from when I talked about like my color palette, that video. I love dark red. I just really love dark red. I have like a dark red sweater, my favorite, probably my favorite sweater, maybe not anymore, but one of my very favorite sweaters I ever made is my first sweater I made that I loved. Is like a beautiful dark red color. I also have knit like a tank in a dark red color. I just really love it. But this is Madewell Dupe and Shibui. They did a collaboration. And this is Tosh Merino Light in the, what is the name of it? Copper Leaf colorway. I actually saw this online and I really liked it, and I almost ordered some online and then I didn't. But this yarn store carried it. So Madewell Dupe and Shibui did coordinating yarns. So Madewell Dupe did the Tosh Merino Light, which is a single ply fingering weight yarn, 100% merino. And Shibui did mohair to coordinate with it. So I almost bought the mohair there as well, but then I decided against it. But I may end up buying it later. I may end up buying other mohair that I want to hold with this. But this color, I don't know how many of you are familiar with like Madewell Dupe colorways, but they have another colorway that really reminds me of this called Tart, which is one of my all-time favorite yarns. It's a dark red. I think it's actually a little bit darker. Like this one I think is a tiny bit brighter. And I really like that about it. It's like, it feels like it's shining, like it's glowing. I really love this yarn. And I'm really looking forward to using it. I think I want to make like I want to make a cardigan with it. I'm thinking about the No Frills cardigan by Petite Knit. And in that case, I probably would get either like mohair or suri to hold with it. So maybe I should have just gotten the mohair there, but I could get like less expensive mohair, I guess. And like, I think this color shines really well, so I could get just like a red. I really like the Biche Bouche mohair. It's like fairly reasonable price-wise, so I may get that to go with it. I don't know, but I really like this color. So yeah, that is what I got from WildFibers. And then there was another store, this one I had an experience with. So another yarn store I went to was called Great Yarns. They're in Everett, Washington. Let me see if I can grab this yarn. This is the yarn that I bought at Great Yarns. It is Trendsetter Yarns Sofio Cashmere, made in Italy. It is basically a cloud. Like, it is so squishy and it's really soft. It is 65% merino, 30% cashmere, and 5% nylon. And I will probably make that headband out of it. And yeah, those are my acquisitions. It's a lot, right? It's too much yarn, but I really do love it all. And the only thing that makes me kind of sad is that I'm definitely knitting slower than I used to, because like I'm going to work like in the office more regularly now. And so there's like, you know, just commute time. Like sometimes I would knit during my lunchtime when I was at home, or like, you know, there's stuff like that, and I'm not doing that anymore. And then I don't know, I feel more tired when I get home, and also just now that folks are vaccinated and like we're able to see friends and stuff like that, I just have less time at home knitting. So I don't know, like I had originally set a goal for myself to knit 8 sweaters this year. And then after the first couple months, I was like, oh man, I could do 12. And then that became clear that that was not going to happen. So I don't even know if I'll make my original 8 goal. I mean, I guess I just started knitting a lot of stripy turtle tanks. Oh, that was the other thing I wanted to talk to y'all about. If you made it this far, wow, thank you. We're definitely going to start a knit along for the stripy turtle tank very soon. I think I'm going to run it on Instagram actually, but I will definitely talk about it here. So I want to give everyone time to get their kits from Melanie, if you ordered yarn from Mel. So what I think I'll do is, I think it's going to start probably a couple weeks from now. So probably my next podcast episode, I will, you know, talk about the beginning of the knit along. I'm really excited about it. I have another one that I want to knit, and I hope you all are excited about it if you haven't already started knitting one. But I'm going to start it in a couple weeks, and it's going to run for probably, I don't know, 6 to 8 weeks, just to give everyone the opportunity to finish. And we'll have prizes for sure. I'll have prizes probably at the end of the knit along. And yeah, I think I'm going to run it on Instagram. So if you're interested, stay tuned. I'll have more information here and also on Instagram about it. So yeah, we'll do a knit along, and let's see, I feel like that's all I've got. I mean, I've talked plenty, rambled plenty. Okay, one last thing that I forgot to talk about before, so I'm recording this a little bit later, but I really wanted to make sure to talk about, was that a couple weeks ago, I also tried natural dyeing for the first time. So I've never, or any yarn dyeing. Well, actually, one time when I was in college, a couple friends and I tried dyeing yarn using food coloring, and it worked okay, and I still have that yarn. I haven't ever used it. But anyway, I shared in my last podcast episode that I got all the tools and stuff to start natural dyeing from my Grammy for my birthday. I was really excited about that. And I did it. I naturally dyed yarn. Here it is right here. And I'm really, really happy with it. I'm really proud of it. I used avocado pits for my first attempt. So I started by, I just cut up the avocado pits into like halves and quarters. And then I put them in water and I simmered that water. I tried to keep it at around 170, 180 degrees Fahrenheit. And I did that for a couple hours until I could tell that the water was changing color. And it turned into this like really pretty like pinkish orange color. And at first it looked like from the water that the dye was going to be much more orange than pink. Like honestly, like I, you know, would have been happy either way, orange, pink, whatever. Like I was just excited that I was going to dye the yarn. So I did that, and then I soaked my yarn in just like water and some wool wash beforehand. And then I also cooled, so after I had like simmered the avocado pits in the water for a few hours, and it like all the dye kind of went into the water, I removed the avocado pits and I let that cool, that like hot dye water, I let it cool so that when I put the yarn in, it would be like at a cool temperature, and then it would all heat back up together. So I let that cool. I took my soaked yarn, I put it into the dye, and then I put that on the stove at around and like let it warm up, and kept it at 170, 180 roughly for a couple hours. And then I pulled it out and I rinsed the yarn, and then I let it dry, and this is what happened. So I didn't mordant it. I just, for those of you who know about dyeing yarn, listen to me. I sound like a professional, like I know what I'm talking about. I really do not. I had a couple of folks who kind of reached out and helped with some of this stuff, and then I also, like, I read my book and I read some stuff online. So thank you to those of you who had thoughts and were very helpful. But yeah, I'm really happy with the way that it turned out. And like maybe on here on the screen I'll include some pictures of like what the dye liquid looked like, and like what the yarn looked like in the pot, and maybe some other pictures of the yarn in better lighting than I have now. But yeah, I'm really happy with how it turned out. It's like a beautiful kind of, it's definitely not as peach as I thought it was going to be based on the dye water. It's more pink, and I think it turned out really nice. So I'm not sure what I'm going to use it for yet, but I'm excited to use it for something special maybe. I don't know. I guess everything that I knit and everything we knit is special, but yeah, and I'm excited to try it again. I'm not sure what I'll try next. Maybe onion skins could be a good one to try next, or like once we get into the winter and it becomes pomegranate season, I'm thinking about doing pomegranate rinds as well. I think that one could be fun. So anyway, yeah, I just wanted to make sure to share that as well. So other like life stuff, I feel like I've been making pretty good food recently. We did sourdough pizza again with friends a little while ago, and that was really good. I made those sourdough cruffins. If you guys saw on my Instagram the day that the Stripey Turtles tank went live, I made cinnamon sugar sourdough enriched cruffins, and they were amazing. Seriously, the best thing I make. Like, so good. And then we had a barbecue with some coworkers, and I made lemon bars for that, which is another classic, something I make pretty often. So the lemon bars were delicious. What else? We had breakfast sandwiches, like egg sandwiches yesterday for Sunday breakfast. But yeah. Otherwise, things have been pretty good. It's been hot here. Today is actually really overcast. It's like pretty cloudy. My plants are doing pretty well. Our tomato plants, if you guys saw on my Instagram, our tomato plant woes, we are having blossom end rot, and we started trying to modify our watering to be a little bit less and more consistent to see if that helped, and it has not helped a ton. We're still having issues, so we did a calcium additive. We actually dissolved Tums in the water and then watered them with that, and I think it's too early to tell if that has helped yet, so we'll keep monitoring that, and I will let you know if we have progress on our tomatoes. But it has been tough. Our tomato plants have produced a lot of tomatoes, and they are basically all rotten. So that is tough to see, but hopefully soon we'll have good tomatoes. So anyway, that's all I've got. I'm sorry if I was rambly or very annoying today. I feel like I was very annoying, but I appreciate you all tuning in, and I hope you do lots of knitting and watch lots of baseball, and have a great week. Bye!